Howdy y'all, or should I say good morning. My name is Ellie Katie, and it feels almost surreal to be standing up here giving my senior sermon. For years, I've sat in these pews and choir seats, watching the seniors I looked up to so much give their sermons, and now it's finally my turn. This isn't exactly how I pictured it, giving my sermon virtually from Fort Worth, Texas, but I'm grateful to be here today. When I think about what Asbury First means to me, it's hard to sum it up in just one idea. My dad often told me that the reason he became a minister was because everything good in his life came, in one way or another, from the church. I remember hearing him say that during my awkward 8th grade Zoom confirmation classes, and again during youth group Q&A sessions with the ministers. To be honest, I didn't fully understand what he meant back then, but I appreciated the sentiment and nodded along. It wouldn't be until high school that I began to truly understand what he meant and to feel it myself. Asbury First has been a second home to me. I know the buildings like the back of my hand. I'm pretty sure I could win in a game of hide and seek. On Sundays, I'd go to Sunday school with Miss Paula, who taught me how to love deeply, smile brightly, and find joy in the small things. I'd look forward to children's time dreaming of animal crackers or goldfish waiting for me upstairs, or getting promoted to Bible Beat in 4th grade, where I'd compete to find Bible verses for a piece of candy. I loved Wednesday night dinners, choir with Miss Holly, and getting cast as Muck One with one of my best friends in the children's play, arguably my theatrical peak. Eventually, I moved into youth group, a big and exciting step as a 6th grader. I went every Sunday, thrilled to see my friends and look up to the big kids. One of my favorite memories comes from that first mission trip in 6th grade. After a week of volunteering and service around Rochester, we packed up the vans for a weekend trip to Hershey Park. We sang karaoke the whole way there and created the infamous Purple Cabbage song, which we sang in 4-part harmony and in rounds the entire drive. Sorry, Mike. When we arrived at the church where we were supposed to stay that night, no one was there to let us in, and no one was answering the phone. Instead of panicking, Mike, our amazing youth minister, announced we'd be camping out in the parking lot. After a midnight trip to Walmart to brush our teeth, we set up sleeping bags and pillows on the pavement and in the vans and settled in. That night in the parking lot, surrounded by my friends, wrapped in sleeping bags under the stars, was one of the first times I really felt the power of community. I didn't know it then, but that moment would become one of many that shaped the way I understood what it means to belong somewhere. As I moved into my high school years, that sense of belonging only deepened. The lessons I had learned in Sunday school, in choir, and youth group started to take on new meaning. The relationships I had with my church friends got deeper, and I became more rooted in my faith. Because of youth group, mission trips, youth musicals, and community theater like The Sound of Music, I made some of the best memories of my life through the church. The genuine bond between all the youth here is something that's hard to find anywhere else. I looked forward to sitting in the student section with other youth every Sunday and making up some pretty fire songs in the youth room. My church friends are also my best friends in life, and the laughs and memories that come with those relationships will stay with me forever. These friendships were fostered by adults who helped us to have fun and taught us what it means to belong. Mike, Dugan, Carol, Mrs. Mahan, and so many others have become adults we all know that we can count on, especially me. I'm so grateful to Asbury First for bringing this community into my life. And then, a year ago this month, I faced the hardest challenge in my life so far. I found out I would be moving to Fort Worth, Texas for my senior year of high school. My senior year, leaving everything I knew, all of my friends, and the communities that had known me and loved me for so long, and stepping into a new school and a new life. I was sad, I was scared, I was upset, but the community of Asbury First stood by me. As I began at a new school, trying to find my way on my own, make new friends, and get used to the heat, I knew Asbury First was still with me. I was not alone, even though it felt like it at times. Somehow, through a lot of hard days and tough moments, and with a lot of bravery and willingness to be open, I found my way and made it through. This year brought new challenges, new questions, new perspectives, new friends, and a lot of growth. And through it all, Asbury First continued to be a steady, grounding presence in my life. And now, as I go off to Ohio Wesleyan University, where I'll be majoring in journalism and political science and swimming for their swim team, I know Asbury First will continue to be with me. The memories, the friendships, the laughter, the tears, and the smiles, they all come with me. So, Asbury First, if there's anything I can leave you with, it's this: always keep the doors open. Invite someone new to sit with you, follow up on a friend you just met. Remember that an invitation, no matter how small, can mean the world to someone. I've learned that God's work is through each and every one of us, showing love to a neighbor. This community welcomed me and loved me, and I hope it can do the same for many others. Thank you, Asbury First. You are truly my family, and I am so grateful. Amen.
Morning, everyone. I've been going to Asbury First for as long as I can remember. I was baptized right here. I went to all the Sunday school classes with Miss Paula, where we played games, colored all sorts of fun things, and had some really, really good popcorn. You always knew it was going to be a great day when she rolled out the rickety old TV and the VeggieTales DVDs. It's still been a while since I've seen one of those things. I remember all the times I went to vacation Bible school, first as a camper, always wondering who was wearing the costume for the week. I still remember when singing a song on Friday was the single most stressful thing in my life. Oh, to be a kid again. It must have been nice. Then later on, I helped with VBS as a volunteer. But of course, instead of being with the kids, I opted to be Mike's handyman for the week, fixing various things, moving things that had to be moved, and clearing out the dungeon in the storehouse. At least there weren't any spiders, that I saw at least. At the end of these long days, Mike and I even shared popsicles in the office. I remember my crazy confirmation class all over Zoom, and when I got confirmed right here in this sanctuary with no one else here. Then all the fundraisers I've done, I've made so much soup, I can't even count it all. And all the apple pies too. I still have one of those pies sitting in my freezer at home. And most recently, with the youth group, attending the youth group mission trips and going to Kentucky, where we helped a sweet grandmother fix her siding on her house when it got destroyed by a flood. And then in Tucson, when we went to the border, and I learned one of the most valuable lessons about our southern border, that the people that want to come into our country don't want to come into the country. They need to, because they don't have a home or a job. And they're not all monsters, as our current administration tends to paint them. And then most recently in Chicago, when I learned about the poor, the homeless, and the hungry, I still don't think I'll ever be able to walk past another homeless person on the street without at least stopping to say hello or offering them a snack. As I've gotten older and moved through high school, the stress of my life has gone through the roof, from making the varsity track team and the varsity hockey team and driving myself places in my own car and trying to keep my grades up. Thankfully, through it all, Asbury has always been my sanctuary, pun intended, for me to be just free. For the short time I'm here for youth group and other activities, I get to unwind and joke around with my friends I've made here. I get to play games and just be a carefree kid again. And on a serious note, they even invited me to play Christ on Maundy Thursday this recent Easter season, just to add to all the amazing things that this church has done for me. Thank you, Asbury. You'll always have a special place in my heart.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Phoebe, and I am a senior at Brighton High School. I still remember the first time I ever came to Asbury. I was 11 years old, and I went to see a production of The Lion King Jr. My best friend at the time, and still to this day, you may know her as Ellie Katie, played Rafiki the monkey. I'll admit I regretted not having auditioned for the show when Ellie had invited me to earlier in the year because everyone on stage looked like they were having a blast. Walking away from that production, I knew one thing. No matter what, I was going to be involved in next year's youth musical. Sure enough, the following year, I auditioned for The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Little did 12-year-old me know that almost 6 years and 1,782 gallons of sugar-free peach Snapple later, shout out to Dr. Dugan, I would be bowing in my very last production here at Asbury, in My Fair Lady. That was just a few weeks ago. There are so many special things about this place that I could spend a day talking about. But one thing that makes Asbury stick out is its inclusive community. Everyone is friends with each other, and you really can't get that anywhere else. No matter who you are, once you walk through those doors, you are instantly in the in group. And that's because there is no out group. Everyone is on one team, and it's as simple as that. Over the years, I have created some of my best memories here. Youth group scavenger hunts, shenanigans during bells and choir rehearsals, Sunday night kickball at Ellison, playing with the intergenerational orchestra, Christmas Eve dinners, caroling on Wednesdays in December around the tree, and quite possibly the funniest week of my life at Casawasco are just a handful of the adventures that I will remember for years to come. I've also met some of my best friends in the world here. I cannot imagine my life if it hadn't been for Asbury, because my experiences and friendships have influenced so much of who I am today. I've gained so much knowledge and had so many memories from Asbury First that I would not trade for all the chocolate in the world. I think that everyone can take a lesson from the values here at Asbury, and that lesson is to always include people, be less judgmental and more inclusive. By opening your circle, you have the opportunity to foster a great community that is unlike anything else. So with that, I encourage every single one of you to take this value with you. You never know, but you just might meet the best people in your life.